Clint,
Colette,
hello from sunny Florida.
hello from rainy California.
Oh no, is it rainy?
Well, we say, yay, it's raining in California
Yeah,
because we're
yeah,
opposite world. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
actually nice that we're getting a little precipitation. The mountains are getting snow outside of
Good.
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Uh, well, I already sent you a picture of a flamingo today, so you know what I'm up to. You know why I was late showing up for this podcast. What are you
Right.
up to?
Yeah, I didn't mind waiting a little bit because I was getting nerd sniped by my own pull request reviews.
Oh, fun.
Because I got woke up at 3 a.m. It's exactly, by the way, exactly like 2:59. The alarm went off, and I'm on call right now
Uh,
for our services. So I had to go look and see what was going on because there was a queue that was backing up, and that's sort of usually a pretty big red flag. It's the annoying one where as you're looking, you're seeing it recover, so you're just enough awake to know for sure. Like, oh, okay, it's self recovered. We need to deal with this. There's like a lock that has too short of a timeout, so it lets things step on each other. We think we kind of already knew it. It was like on our to-do list. The only reason we hadn't done it is we have so many people onboarding to the team because we're growing that
mm,
we like left it as an easy task for them,
mm.
which I think is an interesting like failure mode. Like known problem repeats because team willfully chose not to
To
add
let
safety to
somebody
the
else fix
system
it. Yeah.
to let someone else learn. Like this is one of those things I think I learned early on in doing deep incident reviews that it's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. You just make choices and
Hmm.
sometimes the chaos lands on your choice. So that was me in the 20 minutes or so I was waiting for you was I like made a pull request. I'm like, sorry, new person, you don't get to learn through this
You
one because
don't
I'm
get
not
to
waking
do.
up again tomorrow.
Never mind.
Yeah, and just watching like, oh, CI failed. Oh, flaky test. Just trying to keep it going so after we're done recording, I can actually land it and then I can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yay. So, we're opening season 2 of the podcast.
Yay!
Did we ever think we were gonna make it to season 2? I didn't. Also, what constitutes a season? That's a really good question. We decided 10 episodes.
Yeah, it's such a nice number, isn't it? Like, oh, 10 episodes. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I was like trying to grok podcast metadata things, and it's like, just put everything in season one unless you decide to do seasons later. And I was like, seasons, come on. But I really do feel like we've kind of we've hit somewhat of a milestone with 10, but also like feels like we had kind of an arc. I was looking back at our show notes, and I learned so much. Like I don't know about you, but like just sitting with all these incredible people, which we kind of knew everybody who joined us, but like having a chat with them about these specific questions, I learned a ton of stuff.
Yeah, it was really, we had such great levels of expertise, I think, present. That was, I think, my favorite thing was just how many really knowledgeable people decided to show up and chat with us.
Like really smart, really humble people too, who are
Hmm.
humbling me. Like no, you can't be humble. I'm humble. Like you're yeah. I think I like think back to certain moments in the podcasts. Um, like I'm not going in order or anything, but like the chat with Courtney about AI has because it's such a like top of mind thing right now. I jump back to it quite a bit. I think I had read The Ironies of Automation, but I went back and redid it again, kind of more skimmed it, and was just reminded of how normal this problem actually is, even though it feels very scary. And it was nice to chat with Courtney, who obviously has been doing some thinking about that. I really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, yeah. Was that your
What about you?
favorite episode? Not to make you pick a favorite.
I can't pick one. They're all my favorites. No, that one just keeps coming up in my head. Like I actually think the first episode with John Allspaw was like I enjoyed recording that one. I always
Mm.
enjoy chatting with John, but like we were kind of all over the place, which is how it is always with John. But it also like there's this nice through line talking about does software need safety? That was my favorite question for sure because it's still on my mind because I keep feeling like I get people not realizing that reliability and resilience work is safety work. And I keep referring back to that. And I've asked a few people, like, this is weird. I have a podcast. Go watch episode 2. Like John Allspaw, not me. John Allspaw will help explain it to you. What about
I
you?
do
Did you have a
I do
favorite?
think I think that is John's first episode is probably my favorite. I think because it is such a, well, maybe my favorite guest one. Um, I actually think my favorite one is the one we did as like a bonus episode of like at the end of the year of like, hey, what are your favorite like your favorite resilience resources or things that you like to read? And I actually think that turned into such a really fun conversation and such a we try not to be academic, right? I think we're really focused on being practical, but I thought it was a really fun opportunity to sort of put out like what was interesting to each of us about this world. Because I think that the, drawing the arrow between the practical and the science part, right? Because I think people can forget, especially because the folks who are in the resilience engineering community and software are so uh, we're very passionate about what we're interested in and about this field. It's very easy, I think, for others to look at it and say, well, that's just your opinion. And I think, bringing it back to no, this is a science. This isn't just like, you know, some random practice that somebody decided to throw in the, hopper and say, oh, well, I did it here, so I'm going to do it here. It's like, no, there's science behind the why of this work. I think that's really helpful for me, maybe particularly right now. Maybe that's why it's resonating. Not to say too much about my situation at work, but yeah, I really appreciated that and just getting to chat with you about it.
I like that one too. And one takeaway I had from it was I did read your thesis. Now I will admit not the whole thing, but you had sent it to me before, and I did, and I really enjoyed it because like we're dealing with these metric things. I mean, I feel like every episode had a metric question, right? And it was really interesting to actually see how deep you went into studying this impact in a specific area, and that is science that you're talking about, science that I want to do. Like we did those ethnographic studies back when I was at Spotify, and we talked about them at SRECon, and people resonated with it. They were like, "How did you even get time to do that?" And I don't know, honestly, but it had an impact there, and it had an impact on me. And this is the same thing. Like we need to keep reminding people that it's not soft skills. Like I really dislike that term. You know, people skills are science skills, like, and they're engineering skills. We need to engineer the socio-technical systems. And yeah, I agree. Like that one, I feel like we had some practical advice in there too, but just reminding people that there's a whole pile of science that people have done. And I think one of the things I'd like to see us do in the next season is bring in maybe some more like authors of those pieces and have them really go in depth to some of what they've published. I don't have specific ones in mind. I don't know if you do, but like certainly there are papers we refer to, there are books that we think about, and those authors are around. And I'd love to have them on and chat with them, especially in like a software context where they may be more safety related.
Yeah, I like the idea of always grounding it in something practical. And it was funny. We were meeting about what we were going to do next, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't checked the questions box." And in my head, for some reason, I thought people had just stopped asking us questions, but it was really just that I had stopped checking the questions. And so there were like 8 or 9 other questions that we have too to tackle, which I'm really excited about. And I wonder if we can kind of try to draw that through line where we take a really practical question, but we connect it to somebody who has an expertise in one of the science sort of spaces, and we can sort of help draw the line, the connection between how this practical issue relates to science, right?
Definitely. It's the only way I know how to be, right? Like, I try to be academic as and when it's appropriate, but it just doesn't work for me. I need to like have my arms deep into it and be messy, and then be like, I need science, help science.
I mean, as you saw, I had to put an XKCD comic in my thesis. Like, there's
Yeah.
only so much academia I can do, and then, I need to punch out and go be in the real world for a little bit.
I was actually, funny enough, I was having a conversation at the SoCal Linux Expo and DevOps Days LA last week, which is super fun. DevOps Days, anywhere you see it, by the way, great source for like just meeting people who are like-minded about resilience and software. Like a lot of them haven't gone as far as on the journey as we have, but they're all in that like state of like, it's got to be better than just DevOps, right? Like, um, and we were having this chat about AI, and MTTR is pretty ranging. They had this open spaces thing, and we decided that the new metric is MTTX. It's mean time to XKCD, which means how long between when the incident was declared and between when you found the right XKCD comic to post in the incident channel on Slack. Because that's when it's fully understood, and we've all agreed, yeah, it's this obvious known problem that we've always had. So MTTX,
Yeah,
the
nice.
new metric for learning.
It's funny because I just had to write a glossary for a strategy document that had no, it had SLX in it. And I was like, what does SLX stand for? It is a catch-all, put whatever last, whatever you would know, right? That same thing as MTTX is for MTT
Yeah,
stuff. And
service level anything.
I should just do service level XKC, whatever.
I like it. Yeah, yeah. How many XKCD moments are we gonna have? Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna be actually doing a like an Ignite talk at SRECon about the difference between SLOs and SLAs, and it reminded me just now that we are gonna be both at
Yes.
SRECon Americas. So this is the advertisement portion where we ask you for something, listeners. If you're listening and you're coming to SRECon,
Yes.
we're gonna be hanging out in the expo hall, lurking about on the
We have a
sly a little bit.
plan.
Yes,
It's a
we
very
want to
loose
talk to you.
plan. We're going to
Yeah,
bring some microphones and a laptop, and we're going to try to record an episode at SRECon.
bold plan. Yes,
Yeah.
with the live energy of an SRECon expo hall around us. So please, if you see us,
If you
come
see
say
us,
hi,
come
chat with
find
us.
us. Yeah.
We'll give
We
you
will.
headphones and a microphone
Yeah.
and a question.
Yes. We have to figure out where precisely we're going to do that. Do you think we can do it at the expo hall, or do you think we can? We might be in the expo hall if we can figure out how to
Or the hallway or
bogart a table.
outside,
But it's possible you'll find us like in the hallway somewhere or in like the side of a lobby somewhere or something. But
wherever security won't chase us off.
if you see us, come find us because we would love to chat with you. Where Clint is going to be doing a lightning talk. I'm going to be leading like a discussion on the discussion track. So we'll both be there doing other stuff too. And then also the Resilience and Software Foundation's having a little shindig, a little get together on Tuesday night after the dinner at 7 p.m. We're going to have cocktails. It's going to be sponsored by the RISF and Instant IO, which is great. So if you're interested in that, find us on LinkedIn, and I just posted the invite or the registration thing. But yeah, so that'll be
That's
cool.
going to be a hoot,
Resilience nerds unite.
right? Yeah, and even if you haven't signed up, right? Like just before the event, like come and find us. Like we'd love to see you in the Resilience and Software Foundation. I think
Yeah.
I really think this is a big moment for the Resilience in Software Foundation. And I know you and Courtney have put a ton of work into organizing it. Now is there a board yet? I haven't been keeping
There's a
tabs on.
board. Yeah.
There's a board
I'm
now.
the
Like it's a
president of the
real thing.
board. Yeah. I know how to run
Congratulations,
a
by the
board
way.
meeting. Thanks. It's pretty wild. But it's actually really great. And we've had so many new joiners. Lex Neva, who does SRE Weekly, just mentioned us this week in the weekly update for SRE Weekly. So it will be interesting to see if we have folks who come in there. But we're getting lots of new joiners every month. It's a great conversation in the Slack, and we're going to have our first event, I think, post SRECon. John Oswa, a friend of the podcast, is going to be doing an Ask Me Anything. So he's going to release a blog post or paper or something before SRECon, and then after SRECon, we're going to do a webinar event. And so, yeah, that's part of the value of being a member, is that you get these things for free. If we also might offer ticketed options for non-members to some of these events, but if you join, then you get to come for free.
Taking over. Yeah, that's exciting. Other episodes. Just thinking about what we recorded about. The episode with Fred has been on my mind.
Yes.
I actually bumped into Justin Rioch at that same DevOps Days, and we had a lovely conversation about AI. And Justin gave a brief talk about their core 4 metrics, which I was surprised still does actually contain MTTR, but I know that like Dora has kind of downplayed it. But FYI, Justin is the CTO of DevX, which is sort of like Nicole Forsgren's new company.
New company? Okay.
Builds on top of Space Framework and Dora. And I felt odd. This is a new experience for me as a podcaster, because I've expressed some very like polarizing opinions. And I've always done those in the hallways of conferences or in chats, but now it's out there. And Justin hadn't seen it, because Justin is much bigger than our podcast, frankly. But I had to be honest. I was like, Justin, like, I'm agreeing so much with you. We need to talk about MTTR. And he was sort of like, oh, yeah, let's talk about MTTR. And then he got distracted and he had to go. So I may try to get Justin to come on.
That would be awesome.
I don't want to call it a rebuttal, because I don't think Justin actually disagrees with anything Fred said. But I would love to have someone kind of from like an opposing point of view look at the same thing with us and chat about it, because I do think like there are things we can learn from even what we disagree about. So I'm working, Justin is in, in theory, maybe we'll have him on soon. And he's also he has a really interesting take on AI, on how it's going to go. And he definitely is aware of Bainbridge's work, and is sort of like, yes, so we need to start getting good at this new work, because the inertia is too great. Like, it's even when we drop into the valley of disillusionment, we're gonna be left with some functional AI pieces, and we need to be good at automating around them.
Yeah. And speaking of season 2 guests, I believe that I have landed a tentative commitment. We don't have a recording date yet, but a tentative commitment from the punk rock safety guys to join us to discuss a question, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, so we will, if you're not familiar, the Punk Rock Safety Podcast is a bunch of safety dudes who like to talk about punk rock, but also talk about a lot of these concepts that we talk about as it relates kind of more broadly in the safety world, because they're all kind of in more occupational safety, non-software safety.
Yeah, they joke a lot about how their companies kill people. It's like, it's super dark, but it's also very punk rock. And what's fascinating though is you take that like element out of it. Every time I listen, I'm hearing the same conversations we're having in software about like care more, and about like metrics that make people mad, and about like past experiences with pseudo safety, and how people are like put off by the safety people. It's like they get put off by the reliability people coming in and asking them to make synthetic tests, right? So I'm excited to talk to them about it and kind of relate our worlds together.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. What else are you excited about for season two?
I'm looking at our show notes right now. I'm,
Our
I'm
fun
cheating.
Google
I'm
Doc.
I'm cheating. Uh, Actually, I'm just looking at like on the
Oh,
thisisfinepod.com, which by the way, I found out that the pod page that has all the show notes on it just had a title of blog one until today. So that's another thing I did while I was waiting for you to show up.
but thanks for
So now it has a proper title.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks,
how much we care
Squarespace.
about our website, everybody.
I have this thing. Maybe this is a question that we can answer with somebody. I feel like templated things in forms cause as much problems as they solve. Like, I actually had this on an incident recently. I was incident commanding, and the status page update comes with like a little pre-canned text that included like a put put the actual stuff here, and we were just like moving fast and it was like, oh, whoops, no, that's the wrong status. And when you change status, you get a whole new template. And then I was like, for like 3 minutes, our status page said like,
Lorem ipsum
put
something.
information here. And I was like, I don't like templates anymore. But you asked me what I'm excited about too. I think I'm excited about the questions. I was with you. I kind of like hadn't looked, and we had both kind of gotten into this like mindset of like, well, I guess there's just not that many people listening and asking questions, but there are, and I'm like really excited to get into a bunch of them. Do you have the list up? I don't have the list up.
I
Like
have it
any previews?
in our Slack chat. So we have one about the politics of what is or isn't an incident. Someone else asked about uh, their organization who thinks incidents are only technical and not presumably socio-technical. Um, and someone asked like what is resilience engineering, which like fair because like I don't know I feel like every single podcast we record, I'm like, I'm not sure what it is. But I can take a stab at it. Uh, Maybe that's a good one for us to walk around with
That
conference
would be a good
actually
one at
to get
SRECon.
different
Sure.
takes.
Just to like, we could do like man on the street kind of thing. Like, just ask everybody, what is resilience engineering?
To do to do to do. Oh, somebody asked about rum books, which I think is really interesting. And then another person asked, like, who are the leaders? Like, who's doing this really well? Presumably, like, not just people, because they mentioned Allspa and ACL, but also companies and other folks who are kind of thinking about this. That's an interesting question. We'll have to think about how we want to frame that. But I was thinking in particular about the one example of actually engineering resilience that we've heard about, which is with Beth Long and Richard Cook. So uh, I think we might be able to get Beth in uh,
I
and
would
do a
love to have a
little,
conversation with Beth.
yeah,
It's another humbling one
yeah.
for
Beth
sure.
doesn't has not been asked yet, so this is
Hey Beth,
Beth. If you're watching,
call us
you're gonna get a
or
Slack message
Slack
soon.
us.
Heads up. Yeah. So that's that.
Well, I can't wait to get into it. This podcast is my favorite thing to do, other
Me
than
too.
I think I like hockey as much. That's tied with playing hockey, but definitely one of the most interesting things I've ever done. So can't wait to record more episodes.
Yay. Yeah, so this is the teaser episode for season 2. Uh our first episode for like long full-length episode for season 2 will be at SRECon. So keep an eye out for that, everybody. And if you have questions that you would like to have us answer in season 2, you can go to thisisfinepod.com, fill out our little Google form to ask a question. Cool. I'll see you
Yes,
soon,
please.
Clint.